Mr. Curry, I want to start with you if you could. A lot of folks have been personal beneficiaries of the positive sides of the cannabis plant. Not all of us are doing the thing, or should I say all of them? Not all of them are doing the work of then creating a dispensary, really fueling your passion for the plant into a business model. What was it for you that made you want to take that leap between personal use and professionalizing your space in the industry?
Well, definitely my love for the plant itself. I've been to partaking basically as long as I've been here. I've been doing it since I was a child. I don't see the stigma that a lot of folks see. I graduated from two different colleges. I've worked for major corporations and had success. So for me, working for those people was not going to be able to allow me to leave what I would like to leave for my three sons. Somewhere in there, I had to make the jump and do something for myself that was going to catapult me to some type of generational wealth. And we together were looking for an opportunity in business. This was something we had a passion in already, or I should say I had a passion in. So when New York State went legal, we started looking at the possibility of finding a way to get in. And a dispensary was the avenue we decided to take.
Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the challenges that you experienced? One of the things that we often hear is that when we try to get into a dispensary space, the amount of capital that you have to cultivate, it can be very prohibitive. The regulations, the lack of a clear banking, federal and state framework can be very prohibitive. What were some of the challenges that you found to be the most difficult to navigate?
Well, we were blessed the way that New York State rolled out their program for cannabis and making it legal. They wanted to try to correct some wrongs or some ills of the past for individuals who may have been marginalized, or some individuals who may have had some interruptions in their life with because of cannabis. And in our role, our son had a little hiccup in his life with cannabis, and that allowed us, and between that little hiccup and my wife's past business experience, that allows us to come in as social equity. The social equity program here called CARD allowed us to pay a smaller amount of an investment to get in. So that helped us tremendously. We were able to get in for less than what many other states are doing to start up the same type of a business.
Wow. And if I recall correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, the CARD program was one that specifically looked at people who had been perhaps justice involved as a result of cannabis, or who had been sort of targeted by the quote unquote war on drugs. And so it sounds as though the regulatory framework, which was baked, it had social equity baked in. And I know we can thank folks like Dashida Dawson at the city level for New York City, but at the state level, a number of amazing folks who are doing work, who opened up the cannabis office in the first place. That social equity component was paradigm shifting for a lot of people, and I wish that more states would take a page out of New York's playbook here. Not to say that New York has gotten it all right, because we know that they have not, and there's been some things happening that I'm not quite a fan of. But having social equity take up so much space in the regulations, I think, has really made a difference for folks here in ways that perhaps in other states they did not get a chance to experience. Ms. Curry, I'd like to turn to you now, and I'm just got to say, y'all, I love that they got matching hoodies on that say Secret Garden on the hoodies. They look amazing. It's just a beautiful couple. It's just like love. It's just amazing. But Ms. Curry, I want to turn to you because your firm, J.S. Curry and Associates, you do the work of helping people from marginalized communities to get more acclimated in the business space, to be able to bridge the gaps that exist between private enterprise and the government funding that might be able to support it. What have you seen, both as a part of your experience in co-creating a 716 Secret Garden, and others who have come behind or who are walking alongside both of you, trying to get their foothold in this industry established as well?
So I think that, again, the CARD program was immensely helpful to us in getting into this space. And the work that I do every day with minority and women-owned businesses is something that led me to this, and to make sure that we were well equipped to be able to run a business. And the programs, again, the social equity, and we have to thank our majority leader, Crystal People-Stokes, who was one of the leaders,
Yes.
who's from Buffalo,
Yes.
who's one of the leaders in the cannabis industry. And I think that, working in our community, the work that we've done, the work that I've done over the years has been helpful in terms of catapulting us to where we are now.
Some people call Stokes the godmother of the cannabis industry in the state of New York. And one of the reasons I have so much respect for her is because cannabis could have been legalized in New York, I think almost a decade before it actually was, but it would not have had the social equity component. It would not have had all of the benefits in it that is redounded to you as beneficiaries, but to all of us. And I always respect an elected official who is not there for a quick and easy win, but who's willing to do the hard work of doing what's necessary so that the needs of the people are also going to be centered. But now the name 716 Secret Garden, either of you what's the T behind the name? Because I know Secret Garden, the book, as a kid, because I'm a nerd. But where did the name come from?
We literally threw out names within the family. We had a group text with the family. We threw out a whole lot of names, and every time I was throwing them out there, they were killing them. And but eventually we landed on Secret Garden 716. We couldn't just go, we wanted just Secret Garden, but unfortunately there is a florist here with that name. So we added on the 716, which basically brought us home, and represents Buffalo, New York.
Now, this is not the first time that your other family members have been mentioned in reference to this effort. Your children, you said you have 3 sons. Did I read that correctly? Is it 3? Let me not give y'all more children than y'all have. I think I saw you. Yes.
3.
Okay. But are your sons currently a part of the business as well? Is this a family business in the way that we traditionally understand it?
Well, not exactly. It's a little bit different than a normal traditional family business. We have our oldest son, Aaron. He lives in Vegas, so he helps us behind the scenes with reports and things like that, since he already has a financial background. We have our middle son, Jaquan, who is the reason why we were able to get the license. He's going to be joining us as soon as he can. Then we have our youngest son, Jalen, who is actually in here every day like I am, learning and growing. So between myself, my wife, and Jalen, we are here every day, try to lay the foundation and build something for the whole family.
I love this because when you said it was in a family group chat and they was like, nah, Dad, we can't do that. like that to me, I appreciate the nature, the collective, what is it, the Ujima approach that the members of your family are taking to make this happen. Talk to us about some of the products that you all provide as well. And are they available? My understanding is that you're not able to mail, and not just you, but any dispensary. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, dispensaries can't mail cannabis products outside of the state where they are licensed. So I would assume that if I'm in Missouri listening to this, I couldn't order cannabis products from you, but I still need to know what you provide, because if I'm in Missouri, I want to know what I should be thinking about providing to other Missourians. I don't even know if that's what they call themselves, but I want to know what types of products you all are experiencing some success with, so that people in other states where there is a legal license, they would be able to consider that as well. Give us a sense as to some of your best sellers, the products that you like to specialize in, and products that you would like to see on the market that perhaps aren't there yet.
Yeah, I so wish we could mail this. We have family all throughout the U.S. that we could mail to, but I couldn't even mail to my family in Syracuse. That's also illegal. So not even within the state. You basically, any purchase has to be made in the store. And I do have the availability to start delivery, which we'll do when the weather gets better. We are in Buffalo, New York, so wintertime delivery is definitely a challenge.
Right.
Some of the products that we're selling, obviously, we have flour. The flower in New York State is starting to become much, much better as we get more and more growers in there. More micro growers are doing indoor flower, and the prices is coming down. So there's tons of strands out there. There's tons of growers that are putting out good product. Infused pre-rolls, they are just jumping. That's something that's growing and growing. And infused pre-roll is adding other items on top of it, other forms of THC.
Huh. Uh-oh, did they go silent?
Yeah, that would do that.
They try to manage technology. They have phones ringing. I want to pause there for just a second before we continue with the pre-rolls, because you mentioned something about the growers. So you are getting product and flower procured from growers here in the state of New York as well?
Only New York State growers.
Yes, it has to be a New York State grower in order for us to purchase. So it has to be that they're starting a system where they're going to be tracking from seed to sale. So they'll know when it's put in the
Wow.
ground, it'll be a batch number or a lot number will be assigned, and they'll track it all the way to the final sale. And that's a report that they'll have access to, and they can basically see all inventory throughout New York State. It's called BioTrack. So New York State is coming along with their program and getting better at providing a better product for all New Yorkers.
Wow. So, question about the who is making up the growing community, because I know for a lot of folks are like, listen, I don't want to do a cannabis dispensary, but I can grow some things. Me and Mother Earth, we have a great connection. Is there any sort of gathering space where growers from the global majority are connected? Are we seeing what's the presence of Black people in particular in the cannabis growth space when it comes to growing the flower and producing the flower that you're then able to turn into other products?
There are some what I call unicorns out there that are Black growers. There's not as many as one might think. Um, a lot of them haven't made the jump from the legacy market to the legal market. There are a lot of other roadblocks in their way to do that. I wish New York State would have something along the lines that they had for dispensaries for growers as well, so we can get more of the little guys in there. Right now, it's a lot of bigger farms and growers that are out there that are in the area. And again, like I spoke before, the micros are coming that are building up their shops. But since their licensees came a little bit later than even mine's, they're not at the point where we are yet. I do have a close friend that's opened up a micro, Pheno's New York, and he's a grower. He learned. He's originally from Detroit. He learned to grow in California. He happens to now live in New York, married with kids, and he grows a great plant. And that's where I coined the term unicorn for him, because I personally had never met a Black grower before.